Hey everyone, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well because today we're talking about music. Today we're talking about the newest release from New York's The Slackers. Now, who are the Slackers? If you don't know who the Slackers are, gotta go back to bed. But they've been around for over 3 decades. New York ska, rock steady, self-titled, Jamaican rock and roll. They're just fantastic. They've been one of my favorite bands for a long, long time. And the thing I like about them is within the genre, ska and rocksteady and reggae, a lot of bands, a lot of artists, they'll find their sound and they'll stick with it. They'll find what works and they're not really going to move too far beyond that. But the Slackers have sort of always been innovating, always been pushing at, starting out with a lot of two-tone influence, then we go to jazz and then we got rocksteady. And I'd say for the last 10 years or so, they've been really working on like the production, bringing in a lot of garage rock elements as well. So that's fantastic. So, what is this release? It's the new single Kill You, being put out on a 12-inch black vinyl as well as a picture disc with purchasing links down below. It's being put out by Pirate Press Records. I was sent a promo code early from the fine folks at Pirate Press. So, thank you so much for allowing me to check this out. So, what do we got on here? We got two tracks, both mixed and produced by Victor Rice, who is a New York original living in Brazil now, I believe. But he does fantastic production and dub work, and you hear that heavily on here. So the A side, we'll talk about that first. Kill You. It's 7 minutes long, which I was like, oh, are we getting to prog rock? Is that kind of where the Slackers are going now? It's more so, 4 minutes of the track, and then it cuts into sort of a dub version. The whole track itself is kind of dubby, but it kind of gets more and more as the track goes on. But it's a really unique track for the Slackers. It's got some toasting involved, which they haven't really done since Qmax 420 was in the band, who left after a few albums. So it's kind of cool to see that back. It's not anyone specifically in the band doing the toasting portions. It's Florida-based Roxy Pood. I hope I said that right. Roxy Pood, who does that. And otherwise, the kind of chorus and some other melody lines are sung by Vic Ruggiero from the band. In fact, so Roxy Pood, he's got some of my favorite lines in the song. I wrote one down. We need weapons of mass destruction to live in harmony. We're living in poverty, imprisoned in state property. Oh, heavy. This track specifically talks about gun violence. Their last album from the Slackers, "Don't Let the Sunlight Fool Ya," was heavily inspired by the global health pandemic, but not only that, inspired by the political and social polarization that was developing and still developing, unfortunately, in the States, and how that's kind of given rise to not the rise of gun culture, but just seeing that polarization kind of bleed back into the gun culture that's sort of been perpetuated over and over within the States. And that's what this track seeks to address, which is another really great thing I love about the Slackers is that they have those fun songs, they have those love songs and romance songs and party songs, but they also don't shy away from serious topics and serious issues like this, which I love. Um, so the track, it's got a really good horn line. It sinks its teeth into you. It's 7 minutes long, and maybe people are like, "Oh, that's so long. I don't got 7 minutes." It goes by quick in the best way. It goes by quick in the way you're like, "Yeah, let's put that on again and again and again," which is what I was doing. It just was on repeat that with the B side. Now the B side is a dub mix of the track State House, which was actually one of my favorite tunes from their last album. And it's got a really cool long history of it on its own. It's an updated version of the Rancid track Wrongful Suspicion, which Vic Ruggiero co wrote for Rancid's 1998 release, Life Won't Wait. So it's cool when we see these ska bands intermingling and going back and forth. And I believe if you want to make even more of a connection for that tour and maybe on the album itself, Life Won't Wait, King Django, New York based record producer and musician and all around amazing gentleman, played trombone as on the Slackers' first album. I don't believe he was considered a member of the band, but played on that. But correct me if I'm wrong. So that's really cool there. And State House, considering it's one of my favorite tracks on the album, previously it's one of my favorite dubs on this two-sided dub here. It's really cool to see, and I like it a lot. And the track itself is a commentary on the struggle for justice in South Carolina. There's the campaign to take down the Confederate flag that flew outside of the State House from 1961 all the way to 2015. I mean, great that it's gone now, but wow, how would it take that long? As I said before, both tracks feature the work of Victor Rice, who, Victor Rice. I know he's worked with the Slackers a lot, but did he also produce their first album? It's all coming together. I'm pretty sure he also produced their first album, which is cool. Um, so I mean, there's not too much more to say. We got two tracks, both kind of very dub inspired. Both sound great. If you like the Slackers, but you really like where they've been going since their self-titled release a few albums ago, with that sort of real, the Kinks and Rolling Stones inspired production, blending in with kind of like a really heavy reggae and rock vibe, you're going to really want to pick this up. Especially the picture disc, it's got really cool art. But either way you get it, you're going to get a great track, and I think that's super cool. So support ska and reggae, support physical media, support music on vinyl, and support this. Awesome. Thanks, and have a great day.